It's the expected outcome. It will be a second for Foot.
Yeah, mates just running themselves into the ground a little bit there. As I said before, I've actually been fairly impressed with some of the defender-sided calls that we've seen from Mini so far. To flesh out that point I mentioned earlier, his time spent on Enterprise, he was the IGL there in Challengers, his main stint in Tier 2. He resided over Benji at that point in time. You know, the guy has skin in the game. It's more in the mid-round, I think, where we had been a little bit concerned, and when we flip over to that attack side. But for now, you can see his performance isn't hindered either.
He also IGL'd the team to second in East back all the way back in Tier 2.
He did, but that's not going to count for much here as Click again has tried to make an opening duel happen for himself. 7 and 18 in terms of those first engagements versus Liquid is a stat that he'll be wanting to rid of, and well, that doesn't have looked to have changed so far.
He's trying to flood out into backside A just in case that hit was coming through. At the same time though, Kada's going to wander.
We're in the coal mine, but in terms of information, it's just Atta on the extremity yet again, playing a traditional lurk role as the rest of Foot creep closer. This contact piece has scaled quite far up, and now they will be without that Viper when the execute comes through. No smokes.
Yeah, Foot may feel as if their hand has been forced here as well. At the same time, they're still trying to come through, but it doesn't work out. Mate's creating a little bit of chaos, but Zeus, well, he's trying to be the lone one on top of 410, making it work. The rifles are Foot hitting, and now it's just the late luck of Kada that has to rescue this round.
You expect this position as well, Kada in behind. Zeus is holding from top 410, is a fairly laboured duel, but Cracks can haul them over the line. So with Foot now having a third round under their belt, and the bye broken of Gentlemates, things are looking on the up for them.
It is looking on the up for Foot, and this is something that we're going to have to keep a tab on. It's looking on the up for Foot, and this is something under control, because on the defence, very difficult to do so. You don't have that extra economy from the spike plants, etc.
It's a big round from Zeus as well. That head-to-head between him and Click, not something we've spoken about all too much so far. But you're talking about a player who has highest ACS, or did until the floor show took place last night, in the league. Same stat which he had in Turkey the year before.
Something for this round. We saw BBL using the ultimates on ecos, but mates do have things to work with here, right? You're looking at that lockdown, you're looking at the annihilation. If Gentlemates can put themselves in a position where they can try and capitalise, force players back, you look at that B long, it can be very difficult to hold from there, right? Quick peek out confirms what Foot are up to. Mr. Fallen will be the one to get the pick. Foot's annihilation though is the one that's going to be used.
Yeah, that's a small win for mates in this position, right? Trying to bait out any kind of ultimates that they possibly can. Still a couple left in the war chest for Foot at this point in time. It's Cracks and Atta Captain that will be looking to try and build towards theirs in terms of player positions though. Is Cracks furthest out towards yellow? Just forward, is able to get one, but
I mean that's all it's realistically going to be when you look at Foot's rifles, the way they're playing off one another. Excellently done. That will be 4.
And after that initial blip that we saw in the pistol round, and it being the one which mates have been able to post so far, the spacing is looking a lot better for Foot, and I think that's something that we've got to be thinking about. When we talk of the player change and what it is that Zeus brings to the table, different to CNED, as we've had him on the desk here as well. He plays with a rifle in his hands. He's amongst the pack. It helps support players like Cracks that you're seeing on the KO, on the Fade, that have that clearing utility, that are close next to you. That's a discussion we'll get into in a little bit, I think, on his behalf. But yeah, Zeus is very well integrated into this team already, and with that timing kickoff under their belt, you can see the improvements that they've made.
Right now, coaching staff for Gentlemates wanting to stop things and have a chat, because realistically, when we look at the rounds and how they've gone, the only round that Gentlemates have won has technically been a clutch, right? When you think about it, yeah, that pistol round.
Yeah, it's just individual heroics, things like this. Something to keep tabs on at this point in time. Go Kid. Charge in terms of the discussions in the timeout. Mini, in terms of what his position is as the game
leader, to stop things and have a chat. Because realistically, when we look at the rounds and how they've gone, the only round that Gentlemates have won,
it was an idea that they've been flirting with up until that point anyway. But now having fully committed to it, I think the importance here as well is just, is there any preparation that they can go off? Because for as much as we lauded Gentlemates having brilliant anti, we haven't seen Foot play this map since the international stage last year.
No, I think we saw them play it in the off-season.
Yeah, but for VCT, I think the last result was best left, if you remember the result.
Exactly. Well, is the initial boot goes off. Zeus already up in Millicent. At least 3 players here for Gentle Mates.
That toxic screen up, they've just been looking to play behind it. Hunter's Fury coming in, Armageddon the way back. They're fighting forwards here, Gentle Mates, and it's working out. Zipan on the Teho yet again, starting to already feel quite familiar for him. But closing that gap, getting the space back towards Maze. They can't move any further than the brackets before Zipan gets his second, and Click puts his foot down. Finally, Maze retaliating with some proactive defense. Foot falling flat, inside flawless.
Magic stuff, brilliantly played by Mates. Just felt as if Foot were maybe caught by their own pace in there. You saw it like trying to ult through, create a little bit of chaos, and it was Mates that were thriving. As for Foot, they just didn't really get a grasp of where the positioning was of certain players. They would look away, you can see right now. Oh, it's a lovely
saturate.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
All good. I do really like this from Gentamates though, staying proactive, and I think this is something that we will have to critique Foot for. When you're running triple initiator, we saw the issues with it from BBL yesterday. If you're not making the most of that clearing utility, it comes in cycles. You have plenty of signatures in there, such as the 0 point, for example, that KO knife. You want to be using that off rip and then seeing where you can find value for it then later in the round.
I think as well though, when you look at Foot's composition and what they're running with the triple initiator, this is obviously going to be the best half in terms of they can be oppressive with their utility, the clearing, etc. But when they move on to this defense, is that lack of a sentinel going to be an issue?
That's the question, right? You're kind of wondering, do they play heavier for retake? Are they getting aggressive? Are you putting Zeus in dangerous positions? Is that what the setup is? Because when I think of Gentamates, for example, and how they play, you would assume that it was centered around Click, and while we do have a brief intermission with a tech pause, I think it's nice to reopen a discussion that was being had late last year, you know, overall Twitter by JT. I mean, he started as the analyst for Gentamates now. He was with Heroic Valkyries at the time. Just talking about the kind of system that was being run on SK with Click and how much value you can get from a player like him.
Yeah, I mean, when you think towards his position in Tier 2 and the ceiling that he was able to reach performance-wise, he really was the hyper carry. And I think for now, and especially when you see how Click is playing the Whaley, it's very much right, clearing the space.
Yeah, he was in the top percentile last year for first engagements, and that one SK half a round on average more than any other team in Tier 2 and above. So that's the reason why.
कल वो कंटेंट रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ मैं थोड़ा गेम्स का। तू आएगा?
आ जाऊँ। बता ना क्या अभी लाइव हूँ मैं।
कौन सा गेम खेलें बताओ?
तो बता ना।
कल माइनक्राफ्ट मूवी आ रही है।
I'm not into Minecraft so
कोई बढ़िया गेम खेल लेते हैं। नो मैन स्काई खेलनी है?
कोई भी चला ले, मेरे को दिक्कत नहीं। ओके एक साउंड बड़ा
कोई मल्टीप्लेयर गेम ढूंढना।
ढूंढ ले तो।
Just wondering here, I guess, as well, how Mini wants to try and use the lockdown at any point in time. You're getting close to a pit as well. Ultimates, which you can control areas of the map pretty decisively. And with Atta still having his own pit, right, you know, that is the logical counter that you would think of.
Another thing though, right, if you are Foot, it cracks close to his null command, that could be an easy way to get yourself in towards sites and stop any of those sort of ultimates coming online, and then maybe create a further plan, taking more space towards screens, for instance, where that lockdown would usually go down.
And to just then bring that back to the game state, we're coming into a big ult cycle, ladies and gents, if you couldn't tell. These next couple of rounds could decide how the rest of the half ends up looking, whether Foot can stay in front, because that's what they're trying to aim and do right now. Zeus leading the line, top side B.
Already taking that space, although Krax has been left towards mid, and it's going to confirm an advantage for Foot. Spike goes down. What's the post plan?
Very restricted right now, and the pit's just going to fall immediately. Mini still holding on to the lockdown, doesn't need it. His second kill already before Yetijay is forced to face the music. He'll get one, but that's not enough. So much more that Mates were able to do, completely constricting Foot.
Mini looks like a superstar every time we see him in a game, map to map. As an IGL as well, the responsibility that he holds, not just because of the calling, but just performance-wise as well.
Yeah, and when you then begin to draw that comparison between him and Mr. Fallen on the other side for Foot, a player who, you know, has also gone through the same kind of process as Mini, where he was regarded one of the best up-and-coming IGLs out of Turkey.
They're scared now.
And as you can tell, Click starting to intensify things just a little bit more. Is that promise has been delivered on for Foot? You know, that they've made international events now, but whereas for Mate, it is a process.
So far, the way Foot have been playing this attack, very straightforward, very to the point, executing maybe a little bit slower, but sticking to one side of the map, right? Right now, this is the first.
पता है मतलब एमिट माना एमिट तो उतनी अच्छी टीम नहीं है बट आई थिंक एमिट जीत सकती है मतलब माइनी अच्छा खेलता है इन जनरल पता नहीं
सही कह
towards B but a rotation
like मेरे को क्लिक से एक्सपेक्टेशंस तो है थोड़ी बट पता नहीं क्लिक क्या कर रहा है like सामने वाली टीम तो अच्छी है like FUT काफी अच्छी टीम बट इवन एमिट हैड अ चांस like एमिट पे काफी अच्छा चांस है पता नहीं अब देखते हैं क्या होता है
finding info A, they should have the read.
It looks like they're committing to it. Want to re-clear mid though, just to be sure there's not any late lurks that we saw from Cracks in that last round. Null Command invested, straight in. Mates can't stop anything at the minute in terms of utility, so they're held back.
Yeah, as I said before, there is little plant security here, so it's really just the null command you're relying on to actually get this one down. But as they drop back into a deeper post plant, look at the ults that Mate have to come back in with. Even just a lockdown well placed through the middle of sight from Mini could be all the difference in re-securing long.
See Mr. Fallen, he's already wanting to try and
take
more space, and the wall's done so well. It's just a quick spam. Mates haven't thought about this, and it's such a simple way to deal with the lockdown. Trying to get out of the wall, and it's Mr. Fallen with 3, and the captain with 2, and Foot get 5.
Mr. Fallen says, you want to see a fragging IGL? I'm gonna
ये बंदा पूरी टीम खा गया and like frag पे वो भी. There was like crazy replay देखना तो replay में क्या मस्त है.
You invest the
ये देखो
and it's just cut short. The second layer from Hatter is so well timed as well after they hadn't really been present mid, as we say. They didn't start the round with any pressure there. Mate's happy to give it up, but then they pay a hefty price as the round drags on.
It's so hard as well because you see Mates, they pay a little bit of attention, they clear it before going for that retake, and then again, as you said, that extra layer, that late luck coming back through it. Similar round in terms of where the players' positionings are. Spike actually committed towards the B side once again. Kamek hanging around like he did last time. No punish though.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, 0 point, just tagging up 3 players, taking the drone offline, not maximizing the space. You can see Foot always leaving at least 1 player towards A, whether it's a lurk or just waiting for Click to throw himself at the belt. There's a big gap towards Snowman here, and so Click is holding on from Kitchen, but it's an isolated duel, one which Click will win.
Be right back.
Oh, head glitch there. Sorry, it's not a head glitch, you know what I mean, head peek. I'm so used to from old Esports, but Dekhega, it's falling, Kamek helping. Alone, well, the Viper in towards this Foot, right at a stop here. No way out, no way to try and rescue this, and Click's got the information needed to lay up the slam dunk of an in-zone flawless.
Brilliant, and even just that double light speed from Click over the top towards the end signifies to you at home what exactly his role is in the team. Again, just creating space for the rest of his team. Kind of like how you've seen a Neon player before, just use that slide to open up some extra space and drag the crosshair away from position. Kamek does a brilliant job here at holding sight, and you know, with what he was saying after the game last week as well, saying he feels like he has more responsibility in this team as well as like the second caller as things have been reshuffled a little bit. He gets the reinforcements that he wants. Into the next gun round, Foot will want a response, otherwise the scoreline's tied again.
Utility coming through. I mean, it's the drone usually to try and identify the position of the B player. Look at Kamek though, he was the player that was being further up B, he's now towards Kitchen, and you can see Gentlemate's thinking about actually starting to move up on the A side. Instead, they're going to pull back, not capitalising off the stealth drone information.
Take flight.
And I wonder what Foot do with this too, because it wasn't quite caught on screen, but as we shift back to the players, I think 2 or 3 of them suppressed towards B long. This is such an important area of the map for the attackers, because you've got to go clearing it, and that's what Kada's going to do. Face checking around the corner of yellow. It's Zeus to solo peek it into the poison. Choked alive, cracks. And with Click up the guts of mid as well, he'll cut off the rotate for good measure. This is, well, I was going to say a potential back-to-back in-zone flawless, but, you know, damned not to happen as soon as those words leave my lips. Mate, very good, mate. Poor.
भाई लिटरली 5-on-5 चला, रिप्ले देख क्या सीखना यहाँ पे, ये वन शॉट, ये देख दूसरे को एंकर विप किया सामने वाले ने, इवन काफी अच्छा शॉट, ये देखना एक और गया एंड इजी
जी बढ़िया.
We saw a few times before from Mate with it being Zipan on that role, but obviously the change making sense in terms of comfortability. Kamek, one of his more played agents, is suiting them so well in terms of the supportive flashes. So light towards this B side though, they've been able to do a lot more than the sum of their parts so far.
It's the first time we've seen Gentlemates really trying to be aggressive.
And how do you get out here as well? The Armageddon's right behind them, they've got to fight yellow.
They've got to try and get something, and well, they've already got one. Kamek got brought low, and they're looking still to keep going forward. The KO flash, the flashpoint, absolutely picture perfect, and so is the luck from Atta Captain.
Finding crazy timings as Yetu's just going to add more fuel to the fire. Mini last left, and that Armageddon just boxed in the rest of Mate. Nowhere that they could possibly go. Mini 1 kill deep into the clutch effort, but it goes no further. The 6th secured at long last for Foot.
Hey, listen, at least they're going to come into towards the next half at an even scoreline at the bare minimum. They'll be wanting to capitalise now, push it forward to 7, taking the advantage, because they've been sitting on this for so long, this advantage.
Seeing the flash here into yellow as well. So well timed to take down those 2 players, and that's one of the problems as well. When you are a little lighter on the hold, you have to consider what space you're able to hold on to, and then Teho doing Teho things makes you completely adjust the scales once again, as there was no retreat in sight. Final round of the half, Kamek holding onto an op, but it's the first thing that gets spotted.
Same again that we saw previously with the Hunter's Fury being used off-rip on A, but Foot scaling so much slower compared to last time. Scared of what Gentlemates could do on the A side.
Well, and because they know it, they've set up an alarm bot as well. Mini has deep control to where the orb is. Not really been fighting for this kind of control all too often, but it's a nice early heads up. A little bit of pressure put towards B. Atta deposited late. His value in a lot of these rounds has come from the lurks, but he looks to be backing away while the drone's coming up.
Re-cleared out. I mean, at the same time, the Gentlemates identify that as the lurker and start to commit towards A with the pressure that's coming on and the spike being down. It certainly looks like it. Trading even going one better. Now in a 3 versus 2, and you still have Click's ultimate to be used.
Still holding on to it. Gonna send it in a little bit earlier, and actually it's just a solo play. Click right in, refracts back, but you've only got 10 points of health, and all of a sudden the pool isn't looking as healthy as it was before. But Mini still stands tall, nearly on for the ace, but it's snatched away at the final moment. And now Yetu with a chance to close the half, to step back as the stun drops, and Zipan will finally confirm it. We'll be all even.
We certainly will, Hazard. Going all even, and I think that's complementary to both teams and how they've played this half so far. A very nice back and forth between the two.
Absolutely has been the kind of start that they would have wanted. But we've got to work for the birthday boy. Let's hit.
Like even I know these are like top players of like top VCT players. Even aim was like too stable कि हम लोग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. इसीलिए हम लोग इतना शॉक हुए जा रहे हैं और कोई रीजन नहीं. एम बहुत ज्यादा स्टेबल है, like crazy stable है. Click,
I remember the first game was like also really exciting because I don't know how many viewers we had. Like I don't know, see, oh, this guy had like 300.
हाँ, so अभी तक जो तूने देखा ना, तो अभी तक का जो स्कोर था वो काफी प्यारा गया, एंड इवन लाइक मेरे को तो यही लाइक अभी आगे भी लगता है ना, इस टाइप का भी जा रहा है. अगर सेम इस तरह का कंटिन्यू हुआ तो मैच बहुत क्रेजी जा सकता है, क्योंकि लाइक ये बहुत प्यारा टूर्नामेंट है. इस लाइक इसीलिए मैंने ये वाले से लाइव स्ट्रीम चालू करी. इससे पहले भी जो टूर्नामेंट्स हुए थे, I'm not going with that टूर्नामेंट्स. ठीक है, वो टूर्नामेंट अच्छे थे, ये नहीं बोल सकता कि टूर्नामेंट बेकार थे. टूर्नामेंट बहुत प्यारे थे, बट जो ये वाले टूर्नामेंट होने वाले हैं अभी वाले, ये काफी क्रेजी टूर्नामेंट होता है, स्टेट लेवल का। लाइक इसमें तुमको जो गेम प्ले देखने को मिलेगा, तो जो विफ रहेगा ना, वो विफ इसलिए हो पाएगा कि सामने वाला कुछ क्रेजी मूव कर जाएगा। क्योंकि नॉर्मली इसमें 1% की भी फ्लिप नहीं है और बहुत प्यारे प्यारे प्लेयर्स। लाइक इन प्लेयर्स में से अगर तुमको 1% भी इन प्लेयर का गेम प्ले आ जाता है तो तुम इजी प्लेट पुश कर सकते हो। लाइक तुम प्लेट से भी ज्यादा पुश कर सकते हो बहुत ही इजीली, और तुमको इनका 1-2% भी गेम प्ले तुमको इनका आ जाता है। तो लाइक ये लोग इस लेवल पे हैं। और आज ये क्लिक का बर्थडे भी है ब्रो।
वाह क्या बात,
हैप्पी बर्थडे बोल दल्ले, क्या बात बोल रहा है?
हैप्पी बर्थडे
भाई ये बंदा बोला वाह
भाई
क्या बात। हैप्पी बर्थडे क्लिक नहीं बोल सकता छोरा। क्लिक का बर्थडे ये अपना।
अरे मैं तुम्हारा वेट कर रहा था, मैं कहा तुम बोलने वाले हैं।
नहीं सो सो इवन लाइक यहाँ पे तो 2 टीम है, FUT एंड एमिट। लाइक आई एम गोइंग विद एमिट, सॉरी FUT के जीतने के चांस जाने, इसलिए मैं एमिट के लिए जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि एमिट में प्लेयर अच्छे हैं एंड इनके शॉट्स भी काफी अच्छे रहेंगे। लाइक माइन ही है, क्लिक है, दैट वाज लाइक गुड प्लेयर ऑफ माइन, लाइक जो मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी लगती है। सामने तुमको लाइक पॉलिन मिल जाएगा, जीजक्स मिल जाएगा, ये तो मिल जाएगा। यहाँ पे तो काफी और अच्छे प्लेयर हैं, बट इवन सो मैच स्टार्ट हो गया, लेट्स एंजॉय इट।
Right behind Zeus. Yeah, and there's a flash coming in as well to just incentivize the peak. Click playing forwards into the refract. Falls back Zeus. Double kill.
Easy as that. At the same time, mates are going to pivot, try and get on towards A, and hopefully get a spike plant down.
It's a tap just for now. They are looking for extra jewels, something to just move the needle back and help the numbers, the man count, as they do trail by just the 1 for now. Looking for a fight.
At the same time, because they've been tapping the spike and trying to beat everyone in for a peak, Foot are all here. They're ready for this.
Who's taking the contact? Mini having a little bit of a look. 2 players towards screen as Zeus gets yet another dashes pass to set up Atta as Foot come crashing back through. The A site their own. A 7th round has secured the lead again.
You can see what Gentlemates are trying to do, but it's the tee up in towards mid, taking the advantage and also being so disciplined in the retake.
And that's one of the advantages that Foot have coming into this as well, is that there is tape on how Gentlemates like to play Icebox, whereas nothing can be said, the inverse. It was another A pistol that we saw from them previously, and that's why they go for the mid setup, right? You can get a nice quick early flank if we do see a repeat. I mean, mates did try and interact with it a little bit. Didn't work out for them. And they're not going to be fancying their chances of any kind of an outlaw buy on the second round this time.
I don't think so. Almost something similar when you look towards mid. This time it's the 3 initiators that are trying to take that space once again.
Frax cross-map knife, so Garage already confirmed to be vacant, and with Mate grouping up towards A, it is a 4-player stack.
The damage. That's why it's going to be easy for Click to trade out. At the same time, though, you have to try and gain control of backside. Stop players peeking you, and it's Mr. Fallen's Ghost that's actually the one doing the most damage. It's not looking good at all. As Mini Sheriff tries to get to work, but it will work at nothing. That's a 2-round advantage that Foot are able to grab.
And responding really well to the setup as well. Like, I think Yetu had huge value from his special delivery there. A birthday present for Click perhaps dropped on towards default. No one capitalizing directly off the back of the stun as you see it land in there. But, in and amongst it, 16-7 as it stands. It's both IGLs leading the way. I don't really know how that works, but hey, big brain,
Guess man.
Hey, listen, that's what it's got to be, right?
FUT.
Still be long. Look at Zeus, he's ready for this. A tee up is absolutely gorgeous.
Guess kiya bro.
Get the third though, but it's going to be done by the captain and towards Garage.
The captain's already parked up in the garage. Things aren't here too long. He's going to get a ticket, mates. Need to clear this space out, but they've not really considered it at all. He is going to remain to be that deep deposit, and while Mini's not going to give away any steps, it's a stab in the back that you're just waiting for.
This 0-point lead could be absolutely massive. At the same time, though, Atta Captain.
Wait,
how does he play this? He cleared it. Absolutely perfect. Mates, doing well to try and convert from a bad position, and Kamek finishing it off with a little cherry on top.
I like that from Kada. Walks around, clamps the tire in the end finally, like, yeah, mate, you've been here for far too long. You thought I forgot about you? No, I'm coming back for that one. So,
It's like being VAR'd in it. Like you think you've just scored it and it gets brought back.
Yeah, the celebration swiftly muted. I mean, this was brilliant from Zeus to just kick things off. 2 kills off the back of the flash, and then Kada taking control of the situation as
good job.
One of the more experienced heads on this team, I think it's fair to say, after doing his fair share of work in challenges as well.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at both teams because they're essentially both products of the Tier 2 system.
Foot, different age, debut yet.
Mid though, Mini's found a little pocket to work within.
Could he be cooking up in the kitchen here? I mean, this is a very cautionary drone that's going to come out from Mr. Fallen. And yeah, Click does find the kill towards Yellow. So right now, Mini is a big Yellow distraction. And as the drone flares off on his position, mates get into theirs, right on the site, digging heels in on B. Zeus clawing one back as he always does, but so much work left to be done.
Still need to get on the spin. Nearly denied yet. Tiji almost able to flick back. Still though, a significant advantage.
Zeus one more kill, had the dash up, but the player who charges in front this round is Click, tying the scoreline 8 apiece.
I mean, massive from Mini, right? Finds a little gap and taking damage from the spam or wherever it's come from. But on top of that, as you said perfectly, a big Yellow distraction for Foot to try and collapse upon, but at the same time, it put mates into position to try and swing towards deep mid, towards those back positions, and yeah, Foot had just lost so much space there.
I think too, when you have the Teho, you can make these really deep clears, and I think the synergy between the dash on Click and obviously Kamik's flashes as well, you're seeing the value. Ada keeping an eye on Garage. 1v1 opposite number. Nice shot, Anta. Does this force mates' hands? They've still got over 1 minute and 20 seconds to play around with, but now feeling A inclined. Refract is enabled. It gets the saturate off, but with the suppression, he is locked into this site, and so is the rest of the team.
Spike should be easy to go down. Blade's being used. That rifle can be chucked over to one of Zeus's teammates. That's exactly what happens.
Crack still has both flashes here on the way back through, and Zeus with blades in hand. We're looking to take a fight, but instead mates want to go on the offensive, or at the very least, just slow them down with the hinder.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really hard to try and get back into. You've got to be thinking salvos are still there. Mini still has the nano swarms as well as Kamik having his molly.
Already bought half of the time off the spike, and that will continue to tick away. Zeus removes the first of those players as Krax gets on towards the defuse. Deep positioning from mates. They need to try and get back on the line. Look for a fight. It's Zeus dictating the play instead. A swing from Kamik to save the day, but he goes down early. And so Mr. Fallen will give Foot a pace safeguard thrifty.
Yeah, I don't know, like, when you see all of mates falling back, you're thinking, well, it's just a post plant, right? There's no way that Foot are able to get back onto this, and it's not only that, Zeus does so well to try and take the fight on the front line. This is absolutely insane.
The attack helicopter flying through the sky, man. Easy one, dangerous.
Really well played. It just does absolutely brilliant.
And there is never a round write-off when he has those blades in his hand.
I don't think there's ever a round write-off when it's Foot.
Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment as well, but we have to give the same credit to mates right now. Click, deep clear boiler, gets the value from it this time. It's a kill onto Mr. Fallen, and he's out of dodge.
This is lovely stuff. At the same time, Foot need to try and get something back, but in the meantime, losing players.
Oh, this is a really nice choice from Asa Captain. He's going to fight in towards main deep, where he has the flank coming in. Now Zipan is the player who's hot under the collar, where instead it would have been him as the anchor on the site. Zipan wins the fight, though. It's just one player. Where is Yetu in all of this? He's hedged his bets, and, well, neither of them have come up.
This is not looking good whatsoever. Still, Troll and Shoes. Zipan finally dealt with. The Spike's been ticking away this full time.
It has. It's boiling over right now. The cauldron cooked away by mates. in position. Kamek holding firm onto yellow. He's got contact from Click deep in Snowman. Set up for success as time continues to play against Foot. Another player dropping to the deck. It's Dekhega this time as Kamek has found a triple for himself on the round. But that all spins back to Belong.
Yeah, it does. Sipan does excellently, but also on top of that, Gentlemates realising the mistakes, not letting players take them off guard.
I love this deep dive from Click. He did it a couple of times on the attack against Liquid, but most of that was just trying to create a little bit of space. There wasn't a full rollout. You weren't seeing the extra value. He's managed to land it a little bit more practice on the lineup, perhaps. And you're golden.
I think as well, like on top of that, Foot are interacting with mid a lot here, right? In terms of the utility that they're using out here. A early Vipers pit towards 8.
Go very quiet on the map. Scurrying of drone steps as they give each other a chest bump. No players caught in the process. Yetu is suppressed now and he is solo yellow.
Very lenient, I guess, with the uses of the Hunter's Fury that we're seeing come through from Mr. Fallen. No real value to come off the back of it.
No. It's just a couple of players in position. I mean, they were thinking about potentially re-exploring A.
Kraxus has no flashes either here, so it's just straight up gunfights.
So you can stall a little longer. The salvos at the feet and then he turns his head around. Click has found a different point of entry. Dekega's head explodes as the Armageddon goes on slight gap. Mr. Fallen falling in the bag. Nanoswarm dropping beside him. As he tries to play forward, Zeus in support. It's not going to be enough for them. Gentlemates staring down the possibility of double digits here. As Foot's rifle round has gone to pot. Atta is going to get one on the fadeaway, but he needs 3 more.
Still has an orb to work with as well. He could try and disguise on the spike, but he won't even get onto it. Double digits confirmed for Gentlemates.
Nice stop-start round from Gentlemates on B-Long there. As we said before, it's not just about the space that you take, but then the denial of information. And Dekega's hands are tied from that position. If you go and face check as the Teho at that point in the round, when you'd already invested your drone, you don't want to be the guy that gives away the bozo death that sort of ruins the round for the rest of your team, but you also need confidence, you know? If you're afraid to win, then every move is a risk.
Now, into a timeout, we're starting to get to crunch time, right? These two teams have been trading rounds back and forth, at least it would seem like that, but Gentlemates are the ones who are able to string these rounds together, right? It's looking more concrete from the attack. And something I wanted to talk about, Hazza, is the fact that, like, Gentlemates are actually only a year behind Foot in terms of the life cycle if you look at both rosters, right? Both have come from Tier 2, Foot won VRL finals in 2022, and then you look at Gentlemates, they won Ascension in 23, right? You look at the development of the roster, both rosters and how it's going.
Yeah, that's the aspect of both rosters, because you are talking about a different team here. I think one of the big things for me is that if Gentlemates can confirm this, find a way to beat Foot against all odds. But, both of these teams are top of their group as it stands. But a few people would have thought that Gentlemates would be in this position. They haven't won 2 games in a row since it was the French side that came up from the lower bracket of Ascension in 2023 to beat Apex. It feels like every single time the roster played a team before, it would be, you know, a weaker team and then a stronger team. You had Liquid with the changes. Now you're coming into, what, you know, Foot on form. So, hey, if you can find a win today, then perhaps they have just hit their stride.
And I think as well, considering yesterday's result against BBL, this would rip the group right open, identifying that Zeus has taken a forward position and Gentlemates straight in towards Kitchen.
A lot of pace about this, despite the fact it's an anti-eco, and right into the spawn they go! Click doubling up, dishing out all of the damage. I mean, if you look at Foot right now, they are so split up from one another. You had that fight in spawn, all of a sudden, trying to fill the gap through the snow pile. Gentlemates all over them like a rash in terms of what you hope to try and take away from this round. Maybe a bit of damage, but credits are building up.
Kamek's ready for this. Flash is actually spot on, but can't capitalise. Click certainly looks to, but I mean, it's only just one. Kada will be the one to finish it off. We are getting closer and closer to map finish.
next gun round is huge. Yep. The winner of this one, map point for Gentlemates up against their foot, half by at best, you think. And now you can see that Click is starting to play with confidence. As I said before, not necessarily the player who in this team you're investing so much to set him up, but as he's come on leaps and bounds from that SK team, which feels completely different to this Gentlemates roster. Yeah. This is a roster with the goal of staying in VCT rather than staying in the DACH League.
Yeah, that's totally different standards. And on top of that, as for this round, we're going to be looking at the ultimate game. That's the big thing that will be the difference. And with it being so harsh on Foot's economy, I mean, you can see both teams looking for it. Zeus looking for a kill, but can't get it.
Second round in a row, he's gone for that play.
Oh, Yetishi can't get more than two and easily picked up Kamik. Gentlemates can just go straight into this with an advantage.
All of the time in the world, and as the Killjoy lockdown drops in, there's no way to deny it. Yetishi gone. Can't combine the Armageddon or salvos, a hefty investment perhaps. But free reign over the A site is the name of the game for Gentlemates right now, and a possibility to get the spike plant in. Click! Ooh. Hungry as ever, but perhaps his eyes bigger than his stomach, because with that we go back 3-on-3. Kamik to stabilize. Spike only just getting picked back up.
Gentlemates have plenty of time to rotate to B, play around with the map, create pressure points elsewhere in the map to move Foot, and on top of that, they have a player advantage. They just need to be wary of when Foot come back in, they will have the null command.
Yeah, they will. And with the knife just being used on A, Krax has called this rotation ahead of time. Mr. Fallen coming into the retake will have the recon.
I don't think Kada wants to use the Viper's Pit either, but just because of how easily you'd be spammed out.
Death's Door, and he's arrived! Crossed the threshold! Krax kicking him over the doorstep. 3 kills picked up, and now all eyes to Mini.
If there's anybody you want to rely upon, it has to be Mini.
So many clutches last year, but now making his debut on the big stage. Will he be blinded by the lights, or can he take them all for himself? 12th round, Arstov. He's fragged out so heavily thus far, but going wide for the first. It's Krax to shut down the second. He is the star of this round. A quad kill, which keeps Foot in it.
Excellently done. On top of that, the pressure that would have been on it, and Foot just playing together. Zeus very unlucky not to get one pick. I mean, so uncharacteristic. And for me, Yetishi is the hero of this round. Being able to get that double kill, bring it so close. I'll see that. Krax was pretty much the hero.
Yeah. I mean, look, he gets a double kill, but then Krax gets a double-double. I mean,
yeah, double.
The, steady. The null command making things interesting for us here on the commentary desk, but you can already see Click preparing the light speed. The ult ready, Zeus in position, but with his presence detected, he drops back.
I'm going to respect it, right? The utility being put forward by Gentlemates. At the same time, though, you can see Krax is holding this flash.
Play queued up for Foot, but it's just not going to come to all that great effect. And while Zipan's going to be hindered, doesn't matter. It's only Click that we have to worry about right now, but he can't find the space, and so it's a second expedition to the site with utility once more.
Seeing Kamik can't quite get the kill he was looking for. At the same time, Annihilation coming on down, trying to force players out. But I don't know if Foot want this smoke. It looks like Gentlemates have everything they need. And that's going to be map point.
A brilliant round for Mates to win. They respond immediately, and as good as that previous round win was, it was only Krax left standing. A hero moment to save them for just that point in time. And it's a modified defensive setup here as they try to flood backside, or at least fill that gap a little bit more with bodies.
We aim so much better, I swear. Let's go.
This is
when it comes to the jewels, they were prepared.
Yeah, they were. And on top of that, as things get worrying when you look at this buy, when you look what Foot actually have to try and finish out or get close to finishing, stopping Gentlemates finishing out this map. There's an ultimate still to be used in Kada's pocket as well. Gentlemates in the perfect position to try and finish this map out.
Gentlemates, with every passing round, the attack speed increases, turning the dial, increasing the pressure. But with a reclear, Little bit of mid-rounding here after that first phase of utility coming through, so the salvos should return to Zipan momentarily, as they have left Mini in position, calling away from the rest of the pack to set up the team to now take mid-control.
Okay.
मेरे पास mid control है
He's going to be overwhelmed unless he hits a Kalat or something crazy. No, it's just Click at the front of the Horde once more. And now Atta to be overwhelmed.
Needs to try and hold on to something, you think.
Mini.
Oh, no.
Oh, hello.
That's a little bit of a disaster. At least the rest of the roster's there to try and close this out. It's around the world, and it's going to be a map win for Gentlemates. A brilliant start.
Previous international representatives looking to head towards Toronto as far as FUT are concerned, but it is this worldwide Gentlemates European roster which are starting to show some serious levels, especially on Icebox. A first win for Waylay against a non-mirror as well. Plenty of positives to take away. Can they make more of it after the break?
Nice! I'm so good! Boys, you're so good! They're scared. This move what we did, they're scared. Nice! Camille! Oh, nice. Sure. Check me again, Camille.
देख रहा है क्या करते हैं इनका tell me I can do all like this भाई ऐड आ गया
ऐड को भी आना चाहिए
नहीं ऐड VCT वालों ने दिया भाई
हाँ वही बनेगी
वो तो देंगे ना यो वापस ये तो ये ऐड है भाई पता है क्रेजी है
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull gives you wings कर रहे हैं भाई ये लोग
You see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I move fast, right past anybody taking life for granted. Yeah, that's too bad. I'd be grateful for everything that I have. You only got this life, you don't get it back. Make the most of it, become the best that I can. Everybody look at me, I got a plan. You gotta work hard, play hard, do it from the start. Cause how you do anything is everything you start. Stay consistent and do it every day. Don't let fatigue get in your way. Something is better than nothing. You better do something if you wanna be something. I can feel my stomach when I'm hungry.
So like सुनो मैं इसको पहले म्यूट कर दूँ ना 2 मिनट के लिए
क्या कह रहे हैं
तो मतलब तेरे को ऐसा कैसा लगा ये वाला जो पूरा अभी तक चला
अरे बढ़िया
जो भी लाइक फाइट हुई एकदम क्रेजी वाली एंड ऑल ये सब
अरे काफी अच्छा था
है ना क्योंकि अभी तक ये तो तूने देखा भी थोड़ा ही हुआ है इसका और भी काफी सारा पोर्शन भी वैसे तो बाकी है बट या इसमें बहुत कुछ बाकी है कुछ अभी फाइट स्टार्ट हुई अभी लाइक अभी पता है स्टार्टिंग में रहता है ना सीन जो अभी वो बंदा बोल के आया कि एमिट अच्छी टीम है इवन आई नो एमिट इज नॉट दैट गुड टीम बट एमिट की जो टीम है लाइक आई कैन सम ट्रस्ट सम की शायद वो निकाल लेगी क्योंकि ब्रो लाइक टीम मेरे को पता नहीं वो थोड़ी सी अच्छी लगी थी बस इसलिए मैंने बोला वो चीज एंड इवन मेरे को अभी की हालत देख के लग रहा है कि शायद वो टीम निकाल ले उसी तरह से इस तरह से इसने भी खेला हुआ है एंड लाइक क्या मुझे ये एक अच्छी चीज है टीम के बारे में इसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं और उसके बाद में एक और डिस्कॉर्ड ऐड एग्जिस्टिंग डिस्कॉर्ड ऐड कर लेता हूँ मैं ये जो ये वाली टीम है मैं आगे इसके अलावा अगर कुछ दिखाना तो मैं डिस्कॉर्ड अपना दिखा पाऊँ यहाँ पे कुछ इस तरह से या अभी हमारे साथ बैठे हैं ये गुलाबी चित्रकारी वाले नोटी या What the heck bro भाई नोटी एक बार ये देख
हाँ देख रहा हूँ
वो देखना स्ट्रीम
क्या कह रहा है
कुछ नहीं फिर वो करने वाला था तो हुआ नहीं, पॉसिबल नहीं है। इनका पता नहीं, इन लोगों ने कुछ तो गंदी हरकतें कर रखी हैं डिस्कॉर्ड वालों ने, बट ठीक है अभी के लिए। डन, जब तक सेट हुआ तब तक तो कान डो लिया। इसी के साथ अभी स्टार्ट होने वाला अपना 4 3 2
दो
1
एक चलो।
वी आर बैक। ये अपनी टीम आ चुकी है वापस है। ये देखो अपना टीम के टूर दिखा रहे हैं ये लोग। जब तक ये टीम का अपना टूर दिखा रहे हैं तब तक वापस चल लेते हैं अपनी स्क्रीन पे। या तो अभी हमारे साथ है नोटी। देखो तुमको दिख रहा रहेगा नोटी। नोटी
हाँ हाँ।
सो नोटी बता, टीम कैसी लगी अभी तक तेरे को? लगा अभी तक जो फाइट हुई, लाइक अभी तक तेरा फेवरेट कोई बना है, लाइक जिसको तेरे को देख के लगा वो भाई ये बढ़िया खेल रहा है? कुछ क्रेजी
अरे वो नहीं था जो एक बार तुमने बताया था प्लेयर?
भाई मैंने क्या बताया वो चीज अलग है ना।
नहीं मेरे को नाम नहीं पता ना उसका वो।
हेलो आर्यन भाई, आज मैंने अच्छा सुनो, आज हमारा दिन अच्छा है हमारा। अखा, अरे हम लोग वीसीटी का टूर्नामेंट देख रहे हैं। देख बहुत प्यारा टूर्नामेंट है, मतलब बंदे बहुत प्यारा खेल रहे हैं। चलो भी एंकर देते हैं।
So you can see on your screens that setting up of that Armageddon ready to be put into play, and then click. It's just that little bit of extra timing to throw that saturate into position and
ओके, तो ये देखो अभी तुमको ये स्कोर बोर्ड दिखाते हैं। क्लिक में ये देखो, क्लिक का एसेस के हैं ये सब स्कोर्स। क्लिक वर्सेस
हाँ ये
ड्यूज।
क्लिक।
क्लिक और ड्यूज दो टीम थी, जबकि स्टार्टिंग में मैंने बोला था कि आई एम गोइंग फॉर क्लिक एंड दूसरी टीम में ड्यूज अच्छा खेलेगा। उस टाइम पे इन लोगों ने उतना क्रेजी किया भी नहीं था कुछ। तो भाई की प्रेडिक्शन अच्छी है तो सट्टा लगाना चालू करूंगा मैं भी।
नाइस है।
भाई
चलो अभी आगे देखते हैं।
क्या है उसमें?
आगे देखते हैं क्या होता है।
सबको एक सूसू ब्रेक मिला था ना, अभी आ गया आईएम पहन के। लिटरली देखना, आईएम पहनेंगे फिर इसके ऊपर हेडफोन पहनेंगे।
क्या बात
मेरा आईएम के ऊपर ये लोग हेडफोन क्यों पहनते हैं?
क्यों?
क्योंकि उनको प्रमोशन मिल रहा है ना हेडफोन से।
ओ
इनको खुद पता है वो हेडफोन टट्टी है, तो इसलिए वो आईएम अंदर पहन लेते हैं कि उसके ऊपर हेडफोन डालते हैं। नॉट रियली, बट वो कोच साउंड वाला सीन रह जाता है कभी पूरा। वो सब प्रमोशन तो मिल रखा है, बट वो डिफरेंट पार्ट है पूरा। समझा?
यस ब्रो।
या फाइनली नहीं, अभी नहीं। ये देखो स्ट्रेच स्क्रीन पे कैसे खेलते रहो। स्क्रीन देख भाई की क्या स्ट्रेच करके रखी है। देख भी रहे तू?
adaptations attempted by
देख रहा
them
हूँ।
to sort of
मतलब आधे लोग जो स्ट्रेच स्क्रीन खेलते हैं उन लोगों की स्क्रीन का पीओपी कुछ इस तरह का दिखता है, अजीब सा थोड़ा रहता है, खिंचा खिंचा। काफी सारे लोग नॉर्मली खेलते हैं, वैसे ये 90-20/1080 खेल रहा है। ये देख, ये देख, वैसे क्रेजी शॉट्स पड़ते हैं लोगों के। एक्चुअली मेरे को स्ट्रीम क्लोज करनी चाहिए.
I know Mr. Fallen.
But why?
I know he's
Yeah,
not like
you do?
No way. I know his idealing style, and I know his mind, and I know he doesn't like
Sorry?
fracture, to be honest.
He doesn't! Oh my god, I did not expect that one.
Sorry, why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is the thought process then behind
This is I can say. He hates fracture.
I love it because whenever we have, for
Like,
example, like we had the other day, yesterday, and Zeus, whenever we ask about the competition,
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ स्ट्रीम देखने में लाइक पुता मजा नहीं आ रहा कि मेरे से मैं कमेंट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. मेरे को पसंद नहीं आ रहा है इस तरह का. तो यार इसी के साथ बंद करते हैं आज की स्ट्रीम भाई. हो गया.
चल